It was around 9 p.m., and my friends were supposed to meet me for this haunted house. I don't know if they got cold feet or just decided not to go, but no one was responding. I was standing outside the building with only a couple in front of me. I decided instead of waiting, I would go inside and take the walk once before they arrived, if they ever planned on showing up. This way, I knew what was coming and they would be none the wiser. After all, it only made sense as the couple in front of me slipped past the ticket taker, who must have stepped away. I followed suit and headed up the stairs. By the time I reached the entrance, I noticed one of the actors walk across the length of the door and stand ominously in the doorway. I was afraid she would ask for my ticket, and when I didn't have one to present, I would be asked to leave. But instead, she just stared at me. Her eyes followed me curiously as I passed through the doorway and into the first room. The house was surprisingly bare for a haunted attraction. No giant spiders or spooky skeletons, just cobwebs and dust-covered furniture. I think this put me on edge the more I thought about it. No strobe lights or loud noises, but just darkness and an unsettling silence. I made my way around the first floor, expecting scare actors around every corner, but nothing. I still continued to lose my nerve as I could hear the actors shuffling behind me. As I would turn, there would be nothing but empty space. Just then, the silence was interrupted by screams coming from the second floor. As I approached the staircase, I felt a breeze behind me. I quickly turned to see the actor from the entrance with her pointer finger on her lips, as though to signal me to stop and be quiet. My heart stopped for a moment as the footsteps above drew closer and a shadow passed by the stairway, pausing for a moment before continuing. I turned back to see the actor behind me was gone. I stepped carefully up the creaking staircase as to avoid the actor above. Haunted houses always seem to have a bit of wonder and excitement, but something seemed off. As I approached the top of the staircase, the shadowy figure had vanished. The first room I approached was pitch black. All I could discern from the shadows was someone standing near the middle of the room, his arms outstretched, encouraging me to join him. A wide grin, the only other discernible feature, as his pleas to enter turned to demands and his grin grew wider. Hesitantly, I stepped through the door as the door slammed shut behind me. I shuddered as a muffled scream rang out within the room. A singular light hanging from the ceiling flickered ominously as the door behind me to my left creaked to life. I stopped in awe at the grotesque amounts of blood and gore painting the back wall in front of me. In the corner of the room, meticulously placed limbs lie like trophies. Although the props and actors were scarce, there was something incredible about how terrified I was. I continued to the next room, shadows enveloping it. It was unsettling silence aside from muffled whimpers from the door across the room. My eyes scanned the room, landing on a light outside the window. In the window, I could see a reflection of something hovering behind me. Before I could turn, a flickering light from the adjacent room lit up the wall next to me. My sweat ran cold as I noticed children facing the wall beside me. I've never known a Halloween attraction to use such small children to decorate the home as props. Feeling sick, I heard cackling from behind me, remembering the figure floating, and I darted into the next room. Here, I found an actor, stomach ripped open with his intestines splayed out over the floor. Through his muffled whimpers, he begged me to end it as I continued past him and the actor feeding on him. I thought I had finally reached the end as I circled back down the stairs, only to hear a child's voice calling from below. I followed the voice to a cracked basement door. Through tears, the child pleaded for me to come down. But once again, I was stopped by the actor from before. She put her hand on mine as I reached for the door handle. Her hand was freezing as she told me to stay away. I felt like I should finish the walkthrough, but everything about this was screaming at me not to. In the end, I decided to just leave. As I left, I received a text message from my friend. He said everyone was waiting out front for me. I looked around only to see an empty lot before me. I messaged back in confusion to let him know where I was and that no one was here. After a moment, I received a response. The company moved houses weeks ago. That place is abandoned.